the world, he didn't care for me. But look at Obama in the office for the give back, man. I believe in taking yeah. School and get that game.
Yeah.
Back to the head, you can't tell me shit. Michael Jackson dead. I'm holding back my tears when I listen to Off the Wall. That medicine didn't kill him, y'all did. Cause y'all
yeah.
No, I ain't picking up no girl for no security.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Mack Lessons Radio Show, and my name is Mr. Tariq Elite. Glad to have everybody back tuning into the show. I am broadcasting live in Hawaii right now. I'm in Hawaii, chilling, getting started working on a new book, just relaxing a little bit, getting in my zone. Just got back in from Chicago last week. I was in Chicago. I did a wonderful lecture out there. I got a shout out to everybody in Chicago. I had a great time in Chicago. Chicago showed me a lot of love, and Houston showed me a lot of love too. I did a lecture in Houston a couple of weeks ago too, so I got a lot of love in Chicago and Houston. So much love to all my players and playettes who came out to see me spit. I really, really appreciate that. And speaking of me spitting game, I will be in Washington, D.C., people. It is official. I will be in Washington, D.C. at the H Street Playhouse on Saturday, April 3rd, 2010 at 7:30 p.m. I've been waiting to come on out to Washington, D.C., and we finally made everything official. So I will be in Washington, D.C. Saturday, April 3rd. So everybody in Maryland and Virginia and surrounding areas, you guys can come on out and chop up game with me. Is going to be off the hook. And that's at the H Street Playhouse. The address is 1365 H Street, Northeast Washington, D.C., 20002. And tickets will be on sale this Friday at MackLessons.com. And I know it's going to be sold out, so everybody got to get your tickets early. It's going to be off the chain. It's going to be a good turnout out there in Washington, D.C. We're going to bring the game very, very heavy. My boy Taz Daddy is going to co-host it with me. Taz is going to come on down. You can check out Taz Daddy at TazDaddy.com. And we're going to have a good time. Also, I'm going to be in St. Louis, I think September 18th, 2010. We're putting the finishing touches on that. So all my St. Louis people, y'all been wanting me to come out. So the promoters, they're bringing me out there around the weekend of September 18th. I will keep you posted on the exact dates. So what's up, everybody? I took a week off from doing the podcast because I'd been spitting nonstop game for weeks and weeks and weeks, so I just needed a quick little break, which I really didn't get that much of a break because I was doing some filming for some television projects that I'm working on. So I just took a slight break from the podcast, but I still did the Ustream show, and I might do a Ustream show tonight out here in Hawaii. But god damn it, I digress. Let's chop up some game now. Now, last week they had the Academy Awards. There's a lot of stuff going on with the Academy Awards that I wanted to touch about, people. The Academy Awards, Monique, the homegirl, I love Monique to death. Monique won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress in the movie Precious. And a lot of black people were very conflicted about it, and I was conflicted about it as well. And there's nothing wrong with having conflicting views about anything, people. That's a sign of intelligence to have two opposing views in your brain. You don't have to just totally commit to one view. You can have conflicting views. And Monique winning the Oscar for Precious, it brought out a lot of conflicting views because a lot of black folks, we love Monique. A lot of black folks like Oprah. A lot of black people love Tyler Perry. And all these people were connected to the movie Precious. But the thing is, a lot of black folks, we hate the movie Precious. So it was kind of a catch-22. We're very congratulatory about Monique winning, but just can't stand that movie Precious. Now, there's some black people who pretend to like the movie Precious. Let's keep it 100. Y'all don't like that bullshit. You don't like the movie Precious. If you say you like Precious, you're full of shit. And you're a black person. Now, white people, yeah, they love it. White people love that movie. That movie got more nominations. It has the most nominations for any black movie ever for an Academy Award. Precious had the most nominations for any black movie in history. So white folks really, really like the movie Precious. But black folks, because Oprah co-signed the movie and Tyler Perry co-signed the movie, a lot of black folks feel like they're obligated to like it now. But that's a hustle, and you guys have to understand the hustling that goes on with Hollywood, the way they market certain things. But like I said, man, it's okay to have a conflicting and opposing views in your mind. It's okay for us to congratulate Monique for doing her thing, because Monique did a damn good job in that movie. Let's keep it 100. Monique did a very good job acting in that movie Precious. She outacted every other actress in Hollywood this year doing that movie. Monique was absolutely wonderful. If we're just looking at it at an acting point of view, from that angle, from acting, she hands down, she deserved everything without any question. But the thing is, it's okay to not like that movie, because the movie Precious was a very despicable movie. Precious was a vile, disgusting, despicable movie. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Now, again, like I said, a lot of black folks can pretend that the movie was cool. They can pretend to like it because the way it was marketed, and I talked about this before. They set it up so that black people wouldn't get offended by the movie. The way they marketed the movie, they knew that if they didn't put a lot of black faces associated with the movie, there would be a backlash, because the movie had every negative stereotype about black people. Precious was a very vile, negative ass movie. It was not an uplifting story, all that bullshit that they like to say, that white folks like to say. Let me put it that way. And Oprah too. Oprah, she's been talking about how uplifting and powerful. Get the fuck out of here. I've said this before. That movie was made to please white audiences. That's how the movie blew up. The movie blew up because white folks feel a sense of superiority watching movies like that. Because it's a non-threatening, stereotypical, failed movie. It's a movie filled with every negative stereotype about black folks. And when the movie came out, I knew something was up, because the way they promoted it, they would always say, the movie Precious, based on a novel by Sapphire. That was the official title, which was very strange to put in a title. Precious, based on a novel by Sapphire. Coming soon, the movie Precious, based on a novel by Sapphire. That's very strange to put the book that the movie is associated by. It was like the promoters, the people were trying to let you know that this book was written by a black person, or this movie was based on a book by a black person, so don't get offended. Movies really don't do that. They don't say Jaws, based on a book by such and such, or Casino, based on a book by this person. You know, that's some behind the scenes stuff, but they overtly wanted to let you know that the movie was based on a book by a black person. Because what they were basically saying is, we're about to show you some real negative shit, so we don't want the backlash. They wanted to put a lot of black faces on the movie so that black folks wouldn't be up in arms. So black people would be pacified, and it worked like a charm. They got Oprah, then they got Tyler Perry. Now, Tyler Perry, his hands were somewhat tied behind his back because the movie Precious was distributed by Lionsgate's Films. All right? And coincidentally, Lionsgate distributes all of Tyler Perry's movies. So that's not really a coincidence. All right. So when Lionsgate was promoting the movie Precious and they wanted to put that movie out, they pulled Tyler to the side and said, look, Tyler, you like us distributing your movies, right? Okay, well, if you like that, well, you need to help us out with this little thing we got going on. So what's Tyler Perry going to say? He's going to say no? So in his position, I can understand what he had to do. His hands were somewhat tied behind his back because, again, I said this before, they didn't need Tyler Perry or Oprah to executive produce that movie. The movie Precious was done a long time ago, and they showed it at Sundance last year, I think, and the white folks fell in love with the movie, so they went on and put the movie out. So they got all these chess players in line in order to put the movie out and not receive any kind of backlash from the black community. Because the only reason that black folks say that they like the movie Precious is because of Oprah and Tyler Perry. That's the only reason why black folks say they like that nonsense. It was not a story about inspiration and hope, and the movie was vile. It was a sick horror movie. That shit was on par with movies like Saw. It was not a good movie like that. And again, now that the movie is winning awards, now you're getting the white folks who are really behind the movie. They're coming out trying to get their credit. Like the screenwriters, the people who wrote the screenplay, they're like, hey, don't forget about us now. Because white folks will come and claim some shit when it becomes successful. Now, if it was some shit that just received a lot of backlash, they'll do the Justin Timberlake. You know how Justin Timberlake pulled out Janet's titty, and when all the backlash came, he went and hid? Well, they'll pull a Justin Timberlake when there's a lot of darts being thrown, but when there's praises and accolades, they'll come and get their props. Did y'all see the Oscar awards? There was some black dude. He won an Oscar for some kind of documentary. And while he was on stage accepting the award, giving his speech for the documentary, it was some white woman who was a producer, an associate producer of the movie. She ran on stage and just bogarted the dude and just said, yo, watch out. Okay, yeah, I'd like to thank this person. I mean, she just straight bogarted the dude. Rude as hell. You can see it on YouTube. Go to YouTube if you haven't seen it. It was some white lady, some random lady came out and just bum rushed this dude and stole her props. It's like, oh no, you're not about to get praises and props and I put in work. No, they're going to get their damn props. But black folks, don't let movies like this fuck with your self-esteem, because that's what movies like this are designed for. Movies like Precious and all these movies that are coming out trying to enforce the myth of black inferiority, these movies are designed to really mess with your self-esteem. And none of you guys should go for the okie doke. I remember seeing the movie Precious at the movie theater, and when I left, I looked at the faces of all the black people there, and a lot of black people just had this look of confusion. Black folks were just confused. They didn't know what they watched. So black folks, you don't have to pretend that you like that movie. Just because some people that we like co-signed it. It was some bullshit. It was a movie designed to make white folks feel better about themselves. Point blank. That's all it was. White folks loved that movie. And Gabby Sidibe, and there's been a lot of criticism of her. I know Howard Stern got into a little hot water because he stated the obvious. He was like, okay, this woman, what other acting job is she going to get? And really, and I praise any black person for getting any kind of props or any kind of accolades for what they do. But her getting a nomination, Gabby Sidibe getting a nomination for Best Actress, that was almost like a diss. They just wanted to put her out there to just contrast her against the other top-notch actresses. It was like, look at her compared to these other women. Because in the movie Precious, Gabby it wasn't her acting that really compelled you to look at her on that screen. What compelled you to look at her on the screen was her physical appearance. This woman has eaten herself to the point where she's damn near deformed. And I'm not saying that to be mean or fucked up, but let's just keep it 100. It's this woman's physical attributes. That's what you're looking for. That's the compelling thing that you're looking at on the screen. Not the acting. Well, she wasn't acting fat. She is fat. Morbidly obese. And I'm not saying that to be me. I know it sounds real fucked up, but we just have to say stuff like this. The woman is morbidly obese. Y'all remember back in the 80s, there was a movie called Mask. It was a movie about this white kid. He had some kind of disease that made his head real big. And the thing is, the movie was a cool movie, but you're not going to give the boy an Academy Award or the actor for acting. It was this big fucking pineapple head that made you compelled to watch this dude on the screen. It wasn't the acting, it was the physical appearance. So it's the same thing with Precious. You're looking at this girl like, God damn, look like you stick a pin in her, she's gonna bust. I know it sounds mean, but that's what you're thinking though. I'm just saying what you're thinking. And that's my sister. I love her just like you. She seems like she might be a nice person, but it's like, come on. And they keep parading this young lady around. And I know how these cats in Hollywood think, because I work behind the scenes with a lot of these dudes. So I know their mentality. I know when they're kind of trying to diss somebody. You know, I know when they're giving a person a secondhand compliment. When they're patronizing a person. I know when you're getting patronized. And they're kind of patronizing Gabby. They're putting out there, oh, Gabby, look at you. You're so beautiful. And she's walking around. Have you seen it? You've seen Gabby Sidibe. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name right, but you've seen this young lady running around on the red carpet in these damn tight dresses, them big fucking arms all out, looking like sacks of sweet potatoes, and she's trying to be cute and sexy and flipping her hair, the hands on the hip and all. Just stop. Just stop it, people. Come on, Gabby. Y'all stop doing that to her. I mean, it's cool to be confident or whatever, but this girl looked like she's about to have a goddamn heat stroke at any moment. Just stop it. You dig what I'm saying? That shit ain't fly. That is not fly at all. There was one interview she was doing and they were like, Gabby, you look beautiful. And this girl had the nerve to say, yeah, genetics. I'm like, hell to the damn no. Enough is enough, people. Y'all stop patronizing that girl and telling her that shit. Y'all gonna fuck around and have her in Blacktail magazine. She gonna end up in a thong bent over, making me lose my breakfast because y'all motherfuckers done blew her head up. Y'all need to stop that. And again, I'm not dissing that sister. More power to her. I wish her all the success in the world, but just stop. They keep showing these images of us. They're like, okay, this is the representative of black women. And they're really going hard on sisters right now, man. They are really going hard on the sisters right now. There's been all types of negative articles this year alone about black women. See, that's why I've been trying to warn sisters. I've been trying to tell sisters, y'all need to chill with jumping on their side, trying to go against us, because they're starting to go against you. They're giving you these backhanded compliments. I said that in January when ABC did the special about the successful black women who can't get men. I warned sisters then that they're about to go in on you because they went in on you on that special. They were dissing you on the low. Now there are articles coming out where they're just blatantly dissing sisters. There was an article that came out a week ago talking about the net worth of women of different nationalities, and they were saying that the average net worth of African American females is $5. That was the headline. Black women are worth $5. That was some real slick shit, man. Then they just came out with another article saying that damn near half of black women have herpes. So they're really going in on sisters. And sisters, y'all got to wake the fuck up. You know, I've been trying to warn you and trying to be constructive about it, and I've been criticized heavily, but now they're starting to really go in, because right now you have a black woman in the White House, and they don't want sisters to have any kind of high self-esteem. They don't want you to fuck around and see Michelle Obama, and then you get your self-esteem all up. So they're going in on your self-esteem. Movies like Precious, those movies are designed to fuck your self-esteem up. Those are not uplifting movies. So y'all have to peep the game that Hollywood engages in. Also, and like I said, movies like The Blind Side. I have seen movies like The Blind Side over and over and over again. And I've talked about The Blind Side before. The Blind Side is basically, what's that movie, Losing Isaiah with Halle Berry? It's the same thing. They just got a bigger goddamn kid. It's the mama on crack, and then a white person comes and saves the kid. I mean, there's just movie after movie after movie of white person coming to save a black child or a black teenager. Like The White Shadow. There was a TV show in the 70s. Then there was Different Strokes. Mr. Drummond saving Arnold and Willis. Then there was Webster. Then there was a movie, Dangerous Minds, with Michelle Pfeiffer. Then there was a movie called The Principal. Hell, the movie Avatar, the same theme. They just got aliens that's representing the people of color. And let me play this clip real quick. I give a lot of props to Vanessa Williams, the actress Vanessa Williams. She was the only person in Hollywood to speak out against that whole Blind Side theme. She was on The View last week. And much props to her. She spoke out against that whole theme of white folks saving black folks. Check this out.
IMAX with kids, you know.
Oh, the kids, yeah.
But, and I have to be honest, the one thing about, I'm sure I know it's based on a true story. Mm-hmm. She won an Academy Award. I'm sure she did a brilliant performance. But it brings up a theme for black folks that, okay, here's another white family that has saved the day in terms of another black story that has to have a white person come in and lift them up.
Right.
And I'm not saying that it's not true and it didn't happen, but it's one of those, do I really want to see the same theme again? You know,
not
Finding
much of
Forrester.
I'm not sure when you said right. I have to disagree with you. Mm-hmm. Yes, it is a true story. But I would hope that we would get to the day where the fact that a black family could adopt a white family, or that a white family could adopt a homeless black child, and it would not be applauded by all the races. I think to say, oh, it's one more white people helping. It was a wonderful story, and it was a story of closeness between two races.
No, it wasn't. See, and that's the whole game. Let me put my Mac and music on. And see, that's the whole game that they want to play. They want to make it seem like, and Barbara Walters said that the movie Blind Side was a movie about closeness between the races. And it wasn't about no damn closeness between the races. It was about black inferiority. It was a movie about white folks saving black folks. White folks helping downtrodden niggers. That's not closeness between the races. That's not about building relationships between the races when one race is always portrayed as being inferior. You have to help those who are inferior to you. In all these movies, you have a white person helping a black person. You don't help your equals. If you want to show racial harmony and racial advancement, you put everybody on an equal plane. When you start doing that, then I can pop my collar and break bread with you and pop up my glass and pop the champagne bottles. But movies like Blind Side has nothing to do about harmony within the races. When the white folks are rich and balling and the niggas are on crack. That's bullshit. And black folks don't go for the okie doke. All these movies have the same thing. So don't let them fool you, y'all. Because movies with black folks, when they're on a level of equilibrium, white folks don't like those kind of movies. When you have movies with black folks who are on some fly shit, White folks don't really like those movies. You don't want to see movies like that. You know what? One of my favorite movies of all time was the movie Boomerang with Eddie Murphy, Robin Givens, Halle Berry. Very good movie. I absolutely love that movie. It was a romantic comedy. It's a very funny movie, very sexy movie, very stylish movie. And in the movie, it was Eddie Murphy. All these black folks had these real upscale jobs. Everybody was real fly. And the critics really didn't like that movie. That movie got a lot of negative criticism, got a lot of negative reviews. And I never understood why until later on down the line. I noticed in the movie, after years of watching it, that there weren't really too many white people in the movie. And the white people that were in the movie, they were not superior over the black people. A lot of the white folks, it was only about, I can say about 3 or 4 white people in the movie. It was one white girl who was a waitress, one white lady who worked in a store. There were some French dudes in the movie, and there were some white guys who were basically slaves to Grace Jones. They came in carrying Grace Jones on this gurney as if she were a princess. But those were the only white dudes white people in the movie, and I never noticed that. And I said to myself, that's why white folks don't like it. Because that movie low-key reversed the roles, but it wasn't dissing anybody white. It just didn't have any white people in a position of superiority. And a lot of whites don't like seeing that. But to me, that movie was excellent. And let's go to a Tyler Perry movie. I talked about this before. One of my favorite Tyler Perry movies is Why Did I Get Married? Now, Why Did I Get Married? The critics hated that movie because it showed upscale black folks. No black person in that movie was subservient to somebody white. They were on an equal level. And they act like that movie was science fiction. So you guys have to peep stuff like that in Hollywood, man. They talk about all this racial harmony stuff, but it's not racial harmony if everybody is not on the same page equally socially. When you have black folks on crack, getting ate out by their mama and the daddy's fucking her and got a retarded baby, then they get AIDS. They love that bullshit, but that movie, or movies like that, like Precious and The Blind Side, those movies maintain the white supremacy myth, and you guys do not go for that. Don't let the game get run on you, all right, people? Let me get up out of here, y'all. Don't forget, man, check out MackLessons.com to get all the macking needs. Go get my Myth of White Supremacy download. If you guys want to get really, really up on some game, go to MackLessons.com and check out my download, my pay-per-view special called The Myth of White Supremacy. You guys can get that if you really want to peep out some good game. And don't forget, you can get tickets for my seminar and book signing for Washington, D.C. You can get that this Friday at MackLessons.com. All right, y'all keep it real Mackish. I'll holla.